It's been said very many times that if you don't know where you have come from, you will not know where you are going. Does the past really have that much influence on our future? This berry fills a 2-minute toward day 2 of Tavo when you go out. Let's continue in Deuteronomy chapter 26. And let's drop down to verse number 5. It says, "And you shall answer and say before Yahweh your Elohim, my father was a perishing Aramaean, and he went down to Mitzrayim and sojourned there with a few men. And there he became a great nation, great, mighty, and numerous. But the Mitzrites, the Egyptians, did evil to us and afflicted us and imposed hard labor on us. Then we cried out to Yahweh, our Elohim of our fathers, and Yahweh heard our voice and saw our affliction and our toil and our oppression. Yahweh brought us up out of Mitzrayim with a strong hand, with an outstretched arm, with great fear, with signs and wonders. And he brought us to this place and has given us this land, a land flowing with milk and honey." The history. I sit in this house, greetings from Grassy Creek, by the way, and listening back to yesterday's recording, I said my parents were over my left shoulder. It's actually over my right shoulder, and as you view left shoulder, okay. Notice that. But I sit here in this house, and I remember being here, I guess, for the first 20 plus years of my life. Lots and lots of memory and family history here. My parents came to this piece of land, small piece of land, and bought a small 2-room house, just 2 rooms. And with the birth of children, it came along, we added some bedrooms and a bathroom. Yes, we used to have a shack in the back many years ago. And then late 60s, very early 70, I guess it was, we added on again, or Mom and Dad did. And I just remember all of the family gatherings, the times of prayer, the times of laughing, celebrations that have taken place in this house. So I come home and I do a lot of remembering. I look at a picture and instantly I'm triggered back to a particular space and time. I'm very, very thankful for these 2 people over my shoulder. My mom and dad raised us in a righteous home with righteous values, living out what they said that they believed. And I understand that there are not very many that can say that. My siblings and I are very, very blessed and very favored that Yah gave us such an upbringing. So I honor my parents today. Family history is one thing, the immediate lineage that we're aware of. But we are connected to a greater whole of a people than we might realize. We tend to research the family tree, and we know who our parents, grandparents, and back a few generations perhaps are. And I have the benefit of having some genealogy done, and I can go back quite a ways. I understand how long we've been in this nation of America, and it's a long time. But I don't know those people. I don't know their character. I don't know their lifestyle. I don't understand what was going on in their life experience. But I do know that if you go way back, and I mean way back, thousands of years, what I just read to you is a common and shared history. You see, when we read this Torah and we study these words, we can have one of 2 approaches. We can say, well, this is the story of them and what they did. And I can learn from their experience but it's not really my experience because, well, I'm not a part of them. But Yeshua said that he did not come but for the lost sheep of the house of Israel. That's what he said in Matthew 15, I believe, verse 24. Romans chapter 11, Rav Shaul, the Apostle Paul, talks about how that you and I are no longer who we were, but we have been grafted into the olive tree, which is Israel. In Ephesians chapter 2, he said, you Gentiles, you were once without Elohim, without expectation, without covenant, without redemption, without any hope of anything. But now you who were afar off, you bunch of Gentiles, you have been brought near by Yeshua the Messiah. And so whether we have a physical claim with DNA and bloodline and so forth or not, the fact that we are redeemed by Yeshua the Messiah, the most Jewish Jew who has ever lived, the most perfect Hebrew ever to have existence, the ultimate Hebrew and Jew. He has brought us into his family. If we are considering ourselves to be the bride of Messiah and he is the Messiah, a bride leaves her family and her name, her surname, and what she has known and comes to be a part of the bridegroom's family. And she begins to share in his history. So we are no longer Gentiles of Gentile nations. But the very moment that you and I became redeemed by the blood of Messiah through his atoning work, the instant that there was a new birth that took place on the inside of us, everything of our identity, our past, and our future all changed instantly. Now, I sit here in this house, and the familiar history and recounting of past events, yes, I own that. And that's me, and that makes up a great deal of who I am. But what I will be, who I will be, is not limited by life experience that I have known from here in Grassy Creek or in our home in Gloucester, but rather it goes all the way back to what I just read to you. So when these people, this Hebrew nation, they come to the priest in that day, and they all rehearse the same historical narrative. Our father was a perishing Aramaean, and he took a few men and went down to Mitzrayim, and there they were mistreated, and there they became a nation, and there you delivered them with strong signs and wonders, and you brought us to this land of milk and honey. It's no longer a they and them and someone else's historical narrative, but it has become ours. And so when we read this, we understand that this is our history. So we're not just reading about the chronology of events that took place from the time that they left Mitzrayim or Egypt till they got into the land, and then we continue to read in Joshua and Judges and beyond, and we see the storyline continue. That's our storyline. That belongs to us. And so while I live in America and by documented citizenship papers, I am considered an American. I do not consider myself an American Hebrew or a Hebrew American. I'm not a hyphen. I am a part of the kingdom of Yeshua the Messiah, the kingdom of heaven, that is already in the process of being brought to this earth. My citizenship, as far as man is concerned, is here in this nation. But in the eyes of my Creator, I am a child of Israel, B'nai Israel, and I have a future in his kingdom that he is bringing to this earth. So I am not limited by what future aspects of this nation might be. But I'm excited. I encourage you to be excited about that which is yet to come. Hope to see you again tomorrow. Until then, shalom.